think some people are eavesdropping!
Let me just clear my throat. Pre-recording, start this all up. Is it gonna... Okay. Welcome back to another episode of Jordan Starts Out His Recordings very roughly. Okay. Hi. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna be starting a new playthrough. It's been a couple days since I've recorded. As a lot of you guys know, we very recently just finished up Diddy Kong Racing, which I'm so glad. I'm just so glad I finished it. Because that was a playthrough that I had been wanting to finish for a good while now and just never got around to it. But now, I told you guys at the end of the last episode of Diddy Kong Racing, I'm having to clear my throat because I think something didn't go down completely right. But, yeah, I told you guys I was wanting to play Mario 64, and that is what we're going to be doing. Now, we're going to be starting a Mario 64 playthrough. It's just very casual. The one catch to this playthrough that you guys might notice very quickly is that it's kind of widescreen. It's really HD, and it's 60 FPS. So this is technically the native PC port of the game that you guys may or may not have heard about. This was a native PC build of the game that has been very open source. Nintendo took some of the original older open source builds of the game down. However, it has migrated its way into custom firmware shops on the Nintendo Switch. So I am playing this on the Nintendo Switch right now. Something to note, this Mario model is different. You may like it, you may not. It is kind of what it is, but it's also got this kind of like free camera movement stuff that you can do. Which at some points I kind of do wish the original was back, but I think overall it's better that it's like this. I think it's a better change, but yeah, like I mentioned before, this is just going to be a very casual playthrough. I might suck more in this playthrough than I did in Diddy Kong Racing because I'm not the best at... well, okay, I'm very half and half with like any platformer. I'm like okay with platformers. But I really want to make that clear. It's only okay. So, you know, there's not a lot of introducing stuff with Mario 64 that a lot of you guys probably don't already know about this game. This game's quite notorious for being just a very beloved game. I actually, fun fact about this game, and as a lot of you guys might have, if you watched a lot of my Diddy Kong Racing playthrough that I did, I actually, you know, I talked a lot about my experience playing the DS port of the game. And, you know, because Diddy Kong Racing DS to me was kind of like an eh. It was an eh port. It wasn't the best port in the world. But there were, similar to Diddy Kong Racing, there was also a DS port of this game. And admittedly, some people had some gripes with the DS version. And I think the main one that a lot of people had that I can honestly completely understand was the controls. The controls were really just... I don't want to say bad, because I think really, truthfully speaking, there wasn't a lot they could actually do with the controls. Keep in mind, this port was released for the original DS. So we're talking DS Lite, just the classic DS. It was initially released for that. And I think it almost served as a way to prove that the DS could do 3D platforming. It could do that. Because a lot of what I think people were familiar with up to that point was a lot of... they were familiar with a lot of your new Super Mario Bros., you know, the 2D platformers. And then you had Mario 64 DS, which if you're familiar with it, they added a bunch of stuff. Similar to how they did with Diddy Kong Racing DS, they added a bunch of stuff into the game that I think some people were kind of just like, did it really need to be added? Also, what the frick am I doing? Hello? Hello? Can I... Okay, I'm gonna go around. Yeah, but they added a bunch of stuff that really just did not need to be added. It was very unnecessary stuff that, you know, just overall did not need to be added to the game. But to me, again, unlike Diddy Kong Racing DS's, situation where some of the changes it added were kind of like, why would you do that? The stuff they did for Mario 64 DS I actually thought was really cool, and would definitely separate the community between the people who like Mario 64 and the people who like the DS version, because the DS version actually allowed you to play like a lot new stuff. There was a couple new things, like you could play as Luigi. Everyone wants that. You start out the game with Yoshi, which I think everyone was just up in arms about. Everyone was kind of like, why would you start out the game with someone that isn't Mario? Which I guess I could see it. It added a new flair to the game to me, which I thought was great. They also added a run button to the game. I don't know why that was a thing. I think it was specifically to counter the issues that I think even the developers of the remake of the game kind of knew. They knew the whole D-pad thing was probably going to be an issue, and I think overall the running feature made tolerating the whole D-pad issue, it made it just a lot more bearable. To me, at least. I always used a lot of the run button feature. They added a bunch to this, and the DS port to me is one of those things, like, I think I mentioned this before. It's like, with Diddy Kong Racing DS, it was a situation where, yeah, I played Diddy Kong Racing DS first, and I did not ever, I really just didn't want to go back and play another version of the game afterwards. I really didn't, because I feel as if Diddy Kong Racing DS, is that a bug? Holy mother, again, keep in mind, this is an open source thing, it's a work in progress, so that, I actually have never seen that sequence happen. So, I didn't know that was a thing. But, yeah, like, I feel as if Diddy Kong Racing DS had more issues to what it added rather than things that overall improved the gameplay. I feel as if Mario 64 DS, what they added wasn't necessary. Oh my god. Yeah, what they necessarily added wasn't improvements on, you know, things that, you know, oh, they should have added. It was more or less something that would cater to a certain audience. That's kind of how I looked at the DS port of this game. It was very much, you know, not everyone's going to like it. And again, I really think the only gripe specific to the game's, you know, performance in and of itself is the whole D-pad thing, which again, I think, honestly, why can't I get this? This feels a little bit more awkward on this, like, native PC thing they got going on. But, yeah, it felt just kind of awkward, which, like I said, wasn't really a... This feels really awkward to try and get this star. I don't know if that's just me, but I remember this being a lot easier just in the standard N64 edition. Yeah, I think really just Mario 64 DS was a game that catered a lot more to the specific group of people who wanted to play that version for what it had. Again, it had a couple issues, mainly pertaining to stuff such as, you know, that's going to be over, isn't it? God, okay, you know what? It very much pertained to just a lot of the things that I think people specifically would have liked for that game. You know, it wasn't a game for everyone. But I also don't think that those features that made it a game that wasn't for everyone, wasn't something that hindered the game specifically. Okay, so you actually had to shoot, like, directly up. Fun. Yeah, sorry that took me forever. But yeah, I thought the DS port was actually great at this game, and unlike Diddy Kong Racing DS, I would go back and play this port of the game. I would play the the Mario 64 DS port. I would play that. And also, I didn't figure this out until just recently, and I don't know how many of you guys knew this, but apparently the DS port of Mario 64 got a virtual console port, and they got it on the Wii U, which I thought was kind of strange. Again, to some, it might be like, you didn't know that? And that's how I feel like a lot of people have looked at me, like, when I didn't know that Mario 64 DS specifically got a port to Virtual Console, which apparently on the Wii U, the original Mario 64 also got one too, which I was like, all right. Which I'm gonna be honest, I kind of like that they did that because, again, Mario 64 and Mario 64 DS are very much games where, like, it's very dependent on what you're looking for within the game. It's not really just looking for improvements, meaning you want to be able to prefer the DS version more. It's that the DS version was just its whole other thing, which I actually really like. I like the fact that, you know, it had what it had. I thought the DS port was just great overall. But enough rambling about the DS version of this game. I very much feel as if I should inform you guys on what I've been doing these last couple days. Because as a lot of you know, I've been very much... you know, I've been gone for the last couple days, mainly because I did mention at the end of my Diddy Kong Racing playthrough, I was going to take a couple days off, figure out what I want to do. I wasn't sure if maybe I just wanted to jump right back on into the action, get ready for this Mario 64 stuff. But can confirm, I am uploading this, or not uploading this, I am recording this couple days after the ending of my Diddy Kong Racing playthrough. I'm on kind of a tight schedule right now. I want to inform you guys of that. There's a lot going on. I have my senior pictures tomorrow, which is going to be very interesting. Dude, I suck at this game. I'm sorry. I am absolute trash at this game, which I think you guys should just expect right off the bat. But yeah, I have my senior pictures tomorrow, which is going to be fun. Might update you guys on some screenshots that I may get of that in a future video. So maybe in like a future video, I'll like, you know, pop up some screenshots, be like, hey guys, remember those like senior pictures and stuff I talked about? Yeah, here they are. I might update you guys on that. I don't know. I think that'd be pretty interesting. So I got that going on tomorrow. Hopefully this part of the recording that I'm doing right now will actually just be, it'll be part of an upload. And a lot of you guys know I started the whole memberships thing. It's been a couple days since I started it, and I'm gonna be honest, I have some regrets. I feel like I might be holding myself to too much of a, what is it, like, I'm holding myself to too much of a workload. Not in the sense that it's one that I couldn't handle, but more or less one that I don't feel like I want to do. Because I've noticed a lot of YouTubers, they tend to just do like $5 things, which is usually just the emojis and the badge. And I might honestly just do that. I don't know. I hate to kind of bump it down since we have only had one person join the membership stuff, which by me, I want to mention, is fine. It's one of those things though where I just don't know if it's worth putting into it. You know what I mean? I still want to give back to the community. I still want to appreciate the support that you guys would give with the membership stuff. Because even just watching these videos and, you know, with the ad revenue and stuff, you know, obviously that's really just its own thing. And I thank you guys very much for that. I thank you guys so much for, you know, all that support. So I might just honestly end up making it into a $5 only tier thing. I might keep the whole, like, you know, shouting out people in the description, but I don't know, because someone's already, the one person was the $10 tier person, and I don't know how that's going to work, man. It'll be complicated. I don't know if it's just going to maybe bump it down to $5, how they're going to work that out, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Wow, okay, talk about trying to do that. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I feel like I'm just putting too much on myself to do it. But I just want to make sure I'm enjoying the content while also allowing myself to thank you guys for all the support that you give. I just want to ensure that I can get that stuff across, that I can really get my point across with it. That's pretty much all I have to say about that.